I'm your host, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Let's begin.
If you look at a functional brain scan of a person who is thankful, that can move into a state of gratitude, the subconscious brain turns on completely, which means then that they have their mind and body working together. They're feeling exactly the way they're thinking. And it's re-instructing the body. It's reconditioning the body. And because they're in a state of thankfulness, it's affecting their health dramatically and very quickly. There's no block between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. If you ask that same person to begin to rifle through all the problems in their life and put their attention on that, do you know that that same brain turns off? Which means now that person is separated from their subconscious mind, their own greater mind, just by the act of thankfulness. Now, if you believe that the quantum law has anything to do with your destiny or your future, could you give thanks for things that you don't have yet, but in the quantum law exists as a potential? Could you give thanks for the things that you haven't perceived with your senses, you haven't smelt or tasted or felt or touched, but exist in your mind? If you can give thanks for those things and you're in a state of gratitude, what is the signal that the body's getting? That it's happened already, wouldn't you agree? Because so much of our struggle as human beings is that the mind and the body are always working in opposition. We can consciously declare one thing, but we have conditioned the body over time to live in a different chemical state. It's become the mind. And so there's always an opposition. When we get mind and body working together, when we have mind and body on the same page, that is when the heart is open. When we have mind and body, our thought and action, intent and behavior, all working together, we have the power of the universe behind us. Problem is that we spend so much time in the thinking realm of information and never in the applying or the personalizing realm. To get people to go from thinking to doing is like herding cats most of the time. Because everybody wants to stay in that intellectual realm. And wouldn't you agree that, this is my present state of understanding. Most of us actually don't wake up in the morning. You know, the biggest reason we don't wake up in the morning and create our destiny or decide intentionally how we want our day or our life to go, we don't put our attention on that and actually do it. You know the biggest reason or reasons we don't do it? Because we don't believe it. If you knew that it was true, wouldn't you do it every day? Wouldn't you just do it because you knew it was true? And of course, the second reason is what? I just don't feel like it, Too busy. Too much to do. But in the process of change, when you begin to change, you're breaking all your agreements with your environment now, aren't you? Because the change is to be greater than your environment. But every person and everything and every circumstance we said is organized in the brain. It's a reflection of the brain. You still with me? So if that's true, right? And you no longer want to think and act and feel the same way. The people in your life that we have in our life are pretty much there because we have an emotional chemical agreement with them. Because why? They're sharing the same experience as us. And if you share the same experience, you share the same emotions. Emotions are the end product of experiences. You guys with me? And we know that the brain is organized as a reflection of the environment, because when you meet someone for the first time, you shake their hand and you say, "How are you doing?" They go, "Great." And they go, "Listen, I used to live in this place." And then I say, "You lived in that place?" "I lived in that place." "You know those people?" I know those people too. When did you live in that place? Oh, in 2002. I lived there in 2002 also. And you experienced those things? I've experienced those things too. I like you. We have a relationship now because we neurochemically are aligned. And if we share the same experiences, we have the same emotions. Would you agree? And so all of a sudden you say, I'm no longer going to think and act and suffer any longer. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to make excuses. And now your buddy who you go for a walk with, and you talk about all the problems in your life, and he's going to start off talking, rah, 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 and you're just going to be like this. And he's going to say, what is wrong with you? We had a thing here. You're going to knock that off all of a sudden? I liked you better the other way. Would you agree? So as we begin to change and we begin to alter the circuitry in our brain, and we begin to organize it and make it work in new ways and grow the circuits in there, the brain is no longer a record of the past now, or a reflection of the environment, but in fact, the brain is ahead of the environment. The brain now is organized ahead of the experience. And the quantum law says the environment is an extension of your mind. And don't you agree that if you changed something in your mind and reorganized the circuitry, something should show up differently in your world? I believe that. I wouldn't get about to the business of change unless I wanted a sign in my life as a result of my efforts. And I want a sign that comes in a way that I can't predict, and I want it to be surprising, and I want it to leave no doubt that it came from a greater mind, so that it inspires me to do it again.